Ditch the rat race and chase some of those Virginia vibes we hear so much about.
Who isn't?
But, and this is a big but, let's pump the brakes before you start packing those moving boxes.
Always good advice.
We're doing a deep dive today, folks, into what it's really like to live in Virginia.
Beyond the brochures and those top 10 lists, right?
Exactly. And we've got some awesome insider info from the home team. They actually live and work in both Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia.
Talk about bridging the state lines.
Right. So they're giving us the real deal on cost of living, that crazy Virginia weather.
And maybe even a few surprises you won't find on a tourist map.
Okay, so first things first. Those top 10 states to live in articles. Let's just say I take them with a grain of salt.
Smart move. They rarely paint the full picture, and that's what's so refreshing about the home team. They're all about the nuances, especially the differences within Virginia. Because trust me, one size does not fit all in the state of Virginia.
Totally. Like cost of living. Everyone throws that phrase around, but Abingdon, Virginia, their cost of living index is 83.9. That's 16% below the national average, 16%.
And that's what I'm talking about, concrete numbers. But here's where the home team gets even better. They don't just stop at these broad categories.
They get into the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely. Let's talk taxes.
Oof, everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah, Virginia's got that income tax. No getting around it.
Yeah.
But D, their sales tax, 10th lowest in the entire U.S. of A. So you got to weigh those trade-offs.
Okay, so paint me a picture here. How does that actually play out in real life?
Imagine this. You're in Abingdon, Virginia, strolling through a store. Maybe you're buying some local crafts or a new book, whatever catches your eye. You get to the register, that sales tax, a very reasonable 5.3%. Now, sip over the state line to Johnson City, Tennessee. Same shopping spree. Suddenly, that sales tax practically doubles to 9.5%.
Oh, geez. Okay, now that's an example that hits home, especially if you enjoy shopping.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on the grocery tax. Imagine this. You're in Johnson City, that gallon of milk just got slapped with a 6.5% tax. Head to Abingdon, it's a measly 1%. 1%.
My grocery budget just got a happy dance.
I know, right? And while Virginia does have that personal property tax on cars, the rate actually goes down as your car gets older.
Interesting.
Yeah. And here's another curveball. Real estate taxes in Southwest Virginia, very comparable to Northeast Tennessee.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Right.
Okay, so maybe taxes in Virginia deserve a closer look.
A deep dive within a deep dive.
Huh, exactly. But let's move on to another hot topic, literally the weather.
Ah, yes. The 4 seasons in one day state.
The home team didn't hold back on those details. What'd you find?
Well, for starters, they make it crystal clear that different parts of the state, totally different weather personalities.
Makes sense. Mountains versus coast and all that.
Right. So if you're even thinking about living in, say, Southern Virginia, but humidity makes you break out in hives, you might want to reconsider.
How humid are we talking?
Picture this. 69% average humidity.
69%. Goodbye, good hair days.
Huh. But there's a reason for all that humidity. It's why Virginia is so lush and green. But yeah, if you really want to beat the heat, the home team recommends heading for the hills. Literally.
Those beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains.
Exactly. Now, how about some snow talk?
Hit me with it.
Average snowfall, Virginia Beach, a very manageable 8 inches. Abingdon, a respectable 12.
So you get those pretty winter views without turning into a snowed-in hermit for months.
Exactly. Options, people. Options. You want mountain vistas. Shenandoah Valley's calling your name. Craving that ocean breeze. Virginia's got over 200 miles of Atlantic coastline.
200. Seriously. That's a lot of beachfront property.
Speaking of the coast, what else did the home team have to say about it?
Oh, it's not just about sandy beaches, though. They've got plenty of those. We're talking wetlands, estuaries, lighthouses. They really emphasize the diversity of the Virginia coast. It's a haven for anyone who loves nature.
Sounds like a dream.
And, of course, we can't forget history. You were practically bouncing in your seat when they started talking about that. 544 miles of the Appalachian Trail, not to mention those incredible Civil War sites.
See, that's the thing about Virginia. It's practically overflowing with history.
Yeah.
Every corner you turn, you're tripping over some historical marker or battlefield or museum. You can practically feel the past coming alive.
You make it sound so captivating.
Oh, it is. But, the home team, they don't shy away from the, shall we say, less glamorous side of Virginia either.
Oh, like what?
Tornadoes. They said Virginia averages about 18 tornadoes a year, statewide.
18? That's That's a lot of tornadoes.
It sounds like it, right. But then they put it into perspective. They compare that to states like Texas, which averages a whopping 155 tornadoes per year, or Nebraska with a still alarming 96. Suddenly, 18 doesn't seem so bad, does it?
Okay, yeah, when you put it like that.
Yeah.
But it's still good to be prepared.
Always good advice.
Speaking of being prepared, let's circle back to those taxes for a sec. They did mention that Virginia's overall tax burden is a smidge higher than its southern neighbors.
They did, but here's the caveat. That's just a state average. What you actually end up paying depends entirely on where you choose to live and your own individual financial situation. We're back to those nitty-gritty details again.
So once again, it all comes down to being specific. You got to zoom in, do your homework.
Right, and they illustrate that perfectly with, you guessed it, Abingdon. They emphasize that Virginia has the 10th lowest combined sales tax rate in the whole country.
Wait a minute, low sales tax, ND, potentially lower property taxes in Southwest Virginia.
Right.
This is almost too good to be true. Tell me more about this magical place called Abingdon.
Well, according to the Home Team, as of December 2022, the median home price in Abingdon was a very reasonable $240,000.
Okay, that's pretty darn good, especially these days.
Right. Now, compare that to Johnson City, Tennessee, just a hop, skip, and a jump away, where the median home price was over $283,000.
Wow, that's a significant difference.
Tell me about it. And it just goes to show you can't just rely on those statewide averages.
Right. The Home Team is practically begging us to be informed consumers, whether we're talking about buying a house or choosing a place to live.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, my friend.
So we've covered taxes, weather, even dipped our toes into the housing market. What other golden nuggets of wisdom did the Home Team unearth about life in Virginia? Give me more.
Well, it all comes back to jobs, doesn't it?
Makes sense. We've talked about how affordable it is, but what about opportunity? Did the Home Team have anything to say about the job market in Virginia?
Oh, yeah, they did. And they used a really interesting phrase to describe Virginia's economy. Surprisingly diverse.
Ooh, I like
What?
that. Surprisingly diverse. So it's not just a one-trick Tony.
Not at all. It's like they're trying to bust some myths. You know how people hear Virginia and they think, oh, government jobs, history stuff?
That's all about the past.
Exactly. But the Home Team made sure to highlight some major players in tech. We're talking Amazon, Capital One, even Northrop Grumman if you're looking for a more, shall we say, explosive career path.
Okay, I see what you did there. But it's not just about those big names either, right? It's about the whole ecosystem that comes with them.
100%.
Did they mention any other industries that surprised you?
Well, what I think makes Virginia really interesting is the blend. So yeah, you've got that strong government presence, which everyone expects, Department of Defense, even NASA. But then you've also got this really thriving agricultural sector.
Really? So it's not all just tech and government?
Nope. Agriculture is a big deal there. It's not just a historical footnote. It's very much a part of their modern economy.
So theoretically, you could be a software engineer rubbing shoulders with rocket scientists one day.
And then spending your weekend at a farmer's market, loading up on locally grown produce.
See, that's the life.
Oh.
Best of both worlds. Did the Home Team actually talk about that whole idea of having options?
Oh, yeah, they did. And remember how we were talking about Virginia's proximity to all these major cities?
Right, not just D.C., although that's obviously a huge draw.
For sure. But depending on where you are in the state, you've got Baltimore, Richmond, even Charlotte, North Carolina, within easy reach. And the Home Team really emphasized how this impacts lifestyle. You can enjoy the peace and quiet of a smaller town or rural area, but you're not far from those big city amenities.
It's that age-old dilemma, right? The pull of the city versus the peace of the countryside.
Exactly. And it sounds like Virginia might just offer the best of both worlds.
Finding that sweet spot, I like it. So we've got affordable living, a diverse economy, that small-town charm with big city access.
Mm-hmm.
What else did the Home Team uncover about life in Virginia?
Honestly, I think their biggest takeaway is this. Ditch those best state lists. Stop looking at Virginia like it's one giant blob.
They want you to zoom in on the details, right?
Let's say what matters to you. What kind of life are you trying to build? Virginia's got all these different flavors within it.
They did say surprisingly diverse.
For real, don't just skim those statistics. Think about commute times, schools, healthcare.
Even the craft breweries. Hey, those matter.
Right, gotta have good beer.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's about aligning your wish list with the reality on the ground.
And what I like is the Home Team doesn't sugarcoat things. Yeah, parts of Virginia get swampy, and yeah, there's that income tax. but they're upfront about it.
Exactly. They're not trying to trick anyone. They're giving you the information so you can make the smart choice.
They're like that friend who'll tell you your new haircut isn't exactly flattering.
Brutal honesty for the win.
But ultimately, that's what we need. Tough love to help us make those tough decisions.
It's about finding what fits you, not some generic best that a magazine spits out.
100%. Okay, so we've dug into the good, the bad, and the humid about Virginia living, thanks to the home team.
Those guys rock.
For real. But here's the thing. This whole deep dive got me thinking. It's not just about Virginia, is it? It's how we should approach any big decision.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
Like buying a house, changing careers, even planning a big vacation. It's about being curious, asking those tough questions.
Don't just settle for the first shiny object that catches your eye.
Exactly. Do your research. Maybe even challenge your own assumptions.
Become your own best advocate.
There you go.
Yeah.
The CEO of your own life. All right, folks, that's a wrap on our Virginia deep dive, thanks to the awesome insights from the home team.
Big takeaway. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. So get out there, ask questions, and define perfect for yourselves. Who knows, maybe you'll find it in Virginia, maybe somewhere else entirely. But the journey, that's half the fun.
Couldn't agree more. Happy exploring, everyone.